This shooting in Montebello this week, another scary example of why crime is dominating the race for California Attorney General. We've already spoken to many of the candidates here on the issue among them, Rob Bonta, Democrat, who Governor Newsom appointed to the job back in 2020. Sacramento County District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert, who previously was a Republican but is running as an independent. And also Nathan Hochman, an LA-based attorney who was officially endorsed by the California GOP. This week, we're joined by a candidate with a lot of support in the Republican base. Eric Early is here. Welcome to The Issue Is for the first time.
Elex, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Let's talk about that big issue of crime. It is issue number one. What specifically, tangibly, differently are you going to do if you're AG compared to Rob Bonta now?
A lot, night and day from Rob Bonta. I call Rob Bonta a criminal lover. Rob Bonta is a clone of George Gascon, okay? They have created what I call in California a criminal's paradise. I will do everything possible to lock up the prison cells again. I will do everything possible to set cash bail again. I will do everything possible to repeal this crazy law, Proposition 47, that lets you steal up to $9.50 at a shot, multiple times a day, by the way, and nothing happens to you. And I will support loudly and all the time our brave men and women of law enforcement. You know, these criminals, they may be criminals, but they're not stupid. We have to change the culture in this state. We have to let them know again that crime does not pay. Because right now, thanks to Bonta, thanks to Gascon, thanks to Newsom, crime unfortunately does pay in this state.
Rob Bonta, of course, had endorsed George Gascon in his race for LA County District Attorney. So how do you actually repeal Prop 47?
Well, you know, I was the lead lawyer for the recall of Newsom, the recall movement. And so I know the guys, Orrin Heatley and Mike Netter, know how to get these signatures, because what I would do is I would oversee a referendum. If you have an existing law, a referendum, if it passes, gets rid of the existing law. The people have to vote on the referendum. But it all starts with getting the signatures, getting the referendum on the ballot, and then I, as Attorney General, will be doing the ballot and title summary for that referendum, and I'm confident we could get it on the ballot, and when the other side comes on with millions of dollars try and lie to the people that somehow this Proposition 47 is good for the people, I will be there every day explaining why we got to get rid of it. I'm confident when I'm Attorney General, we will get rid of it once and for all.
Both Governor Newsom and Attorney General Bonta are making the point that abortion is now the definitive issue of this race. Do you think that Roe v. Wade should be overturned?
Well, I'm pro-life, so I support the way the Supreme Court is going. But, you know, as I tell everybody, Attorney General is not a legislator. We are here to enforce the laws as long as they're constitutional. So I have to enforce the laws in the state of California, whether I like them or not. But one thing I would say to these people in our California legislature and Newsom, et cetera, with everything they've been hinting at doing, they better make sure that whatever they're talking about is constitutional, because I'm not duty-bound to enforce an unconstitutional law.
Is there anything that they have proposed when it comes to abortion rights that you would say, I'm not going to enforce?
Frankly, I haven't listened to what they've been, any details about it. It's too premature. First of all, the decision in D.C. at the U.S. Supreme Court, it's not a decision, it's a draft. You know, careful attorneys, we don't redraft Supreme Court decisions. Frankly, I think it was a travesty that it was leaked. But first, I need to read the final ruling, see how it comes down, and then as Attorney General, I have to see a final bill that the legislature and Newsom would come out with. And when I see that, then I could properly answer your question.
Let's talk for a moment about President Trump, which is something that they would bring up over and over again if you become the guy in the top two with presumably Rob Bonta. What's your take on President Trump, and what do you say to people that think that somebody who supports President Trump can't win in a state that voted against him by 30 points?
Well, first of all, my race for Attorney General is going amazing, and what we're telling everybody to do is vote early for early. The momentum is totally building in our favor, and we firmly believe we can end up in the top two on June 7th, but it's no secret. I support Donald Trump. I supported him when he was president. And what I could tell you, Elex, is that for the last year, I've been campaigning up and down the state. I've been speaking to thousands and thousands of people. And I know from them, and I believe there are millions of people in this state that support Donald Trump. And certainly for a position like mine, top law enforcement officer, top legal officer in the state, we want somebody tough, somebody like me, somebody who is not politically correct. You know, I'm the only one in the race who's never been on a government payroll. I run a very successful, nationally recognized law firm, and it's time for somebody like me to come out of the private sector and do what needs to be done to make every single California citizen of every race, creed, and color safe again. That's what I'm going to do. And President Trump certainly represents that to the people, whether they liked him or not. And oh, by the way, we've seen what the other guy has done for the last 2 years. And frankly, I think it'd be hard-pressed for any Californian to say that their life is better off now than it was 2 years ago.
But you got to admit that President Trump lost the state twice by about 30 points.
Listen, I know that there are millions of people in the state support Trump. Even if if you go by the voting numbers, he got at least 6 million votes in this state during the last election.
You've raised questions about mail-in ballots and whether they're constitutional. What do you mean by that?
Listen, I get this job, I'm going to do a deep dive into the entire election process in this state, from the universal mail-in ballots to this ballot harvesting, which, by the way, is illegal in most states in the country, to these computers. This is not just a Republican issue. We have people across the board, politically, across the racial spectrum, across the socioeconomic spectrum, who have questions with the votes. This universal mail-in balloting, our voter rolls are filled with thousands and thousands of people, either no longer live there, might have passed away, but they are mailing ballots to all these people, and constitutionally, that raises tremendous questions about whether this process is even legal.
But is there any evidence of fraud? We had Larry Elder on the show right after the recall, and he said he asked people to send him evidence, and he wasn't able to find any evidence of fraud, and that was a universal mail-in ballot situation.
Well, let me tell you something. There were thousands of affidavits signed under oath by people who witnessed, experienced some form of voter fraud. Those never got to see the light of day, frankly, in court. Every single case was dropped on a technicality so early in the process. You know, I've litigated thousands of cases. There's reasons why cases take 2-3 years to litigate, because you have to go through the evidence, you have to bring in the witnesses who sign these documents, you have to, examine them. We've never done that, and frankly, I've never seen any evidence from the other side that said there was no voter fraud. And what I would ask your viewers to possibly look at, see 2,000 Mules, a new movie just came out, and before that, there was a movie that came out, it was produced by HBO when Donald Trump had won, and when so many people on the Democrat side were more than happy to talk about how he only won because of voter fraud. And this movie's called Kill Chain, 2 words. You can find it on Amazon Prime. All kinds of, respected Democrat senators speaking in it, and it's all about how easy it is to hack into these computer machines.
All right. On this show, we like to have a little bit of fun in getting to know you. Okay. So we do a game called Personal Issues. This is where we put 30 seconds up on the clock, and we do some rapid-fire questions. All right, you ready? Ready to have some fun? Here we go. What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show? Right now, my favorite TV show is Yellowstone.
Best thing about being a Californian?
This is paradise.
What's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal? Well, I like steak. Oh, I love pasta. So I think I'd go with pasta. Great pasta dish. I don't think you can beat it.
Who's your favorite Democrat?
My favorite Democrat? Let me think about that one.
Okay. What is your favorite song?
Well, you heard we've told you it's by Ian Hunter. It's called When I'm President, and I love it not because I have aspirations to be president. It's melodically amazing. The words are amazing, and Ian Hunter is just a brilliant musician.
Well, most politicians are try to hide the fact that they want to be president, but I love that you picked this song, and I know that doesn't necessarily mean that. But we're gonna end with your song of When I'm President. Your chance to move on this show. Eric Early, thanks so much for being on.
Let me tell you the Democrat I like these days.
Yeah.
Joe Manchin.
Okay.
Frankly, I think in large part he saved this country.
Interesting. All right, we go out with When I'm President. Eric Early, thanks so much.
Thank you.